Alright. Hello. Hello friends, how's it going? Hi Obito, Siraji Man first, hello Soran, hello Snoopy, how's it going? Uter Strudor, how's it going? Captain Mike, Ankit, Gam, Arigato, hello. Eating pizza? Ooh, delicious. Must be nice. Alright, so let's get started here. So today, it is Saturday, which is kind of a relief. Saturday before Thanksgiving. It's been a busy few weeks, to be frank. I'm doing okay though. Was maybe supposed to go out to do some shopping and whatnot today, but the plans got changed. So here we are building a brutal V2 1800 today. I hope y'all's weeks were good and that your weekends are going well. I think more importantly, I hope you are staying warm because it's definitely gotten much colder out here. So I hope that you guys are staying warm if it's cold where you are. Alright, so let's get started. Let's see. Ooh, heavy. So here I have some lavenders, Lube lavenders, and here is our board for today. It is in this big CannonKeys bag. So let's unpack it first. There's our board. It's a lilac and silver colored brutal V2 1800. It has these. I think these are the raw zinc. I think weights. I don't know if I don't think in the production this will be like this, but this is just for the prototype sake. But as you can see, that's how it comes. It's a very pretty color though. I do agree with that. The design is quite similar to the other brutal V2 boards, which we've built the 65 before, if I recall correctly. And the bottom design is pretty much the same. Has the CannonKeys logo down there. And it is going to be kind of like the more standard 1800 layout. It does have the F13 key, so it's the same layout as the V1. Alright, so there's that. Switches. Cloth. Just gonna put it here for now. It'll be raw zinc in production? Okay. It looks brutalist. Okay, cool. So raw zinc, I mean, either way you don't see it, so I don't think it matters too much. Some stabs. Daughter board. Gaskets. I believe the gaskets go on the lower side. On the one side, rather. Yeah. And then feet. Screws. I mean, tools. A black anodized aluminum plate. And here we have a bunch of accessories. Let me see. So we have a solderable PCB. We have foam. I believe that's going to be plate foam and otherwise. And oh, is this a hot swap PCB? It is a hot swap PCB as well. I guess I'll do solderable today since we're here. And save this hot swap for other purposes. We can use the foam. We can forgo it. We can decide that in chat. I don't mind either way. So if you guys want foam, we can put it in. If not, we can forgo it. I think the main one to decide is going to be whether we want to put the plate foam, I guess. So there is the case foam, which goes underneath, and then there is the plate foam, which is the one that, you know, has the switches. Foamless. Okay. I'll just have it around, just in case. If y'all need it. Oh, Mr. Epsy! Hello! How's it going on in the upside down? Hello, Mr. Epsy. For those who don't know Epsy, he streams down from New Zealand. What were you up to today, Mr. Epsy? How's it going? How are you doing, actually? I feel like outside of the, you know, the raids and, you know, the occasional time I tune in, we don't chat too much. So I hope you're doing well. You're upside down? From your perspective, we are upside down with respect to each other. I rebuilt my Block 67, found some plate foam and cut it to fit the O-ring mount and used Geon switches. Oh, nice. Do you like the Geon switches?
Hey dude, hope you're well.
Oh, Mr. Jordan. Hello. How's it going, dude? Good to see you. How's the Saturday going? You ready for family gatherings? For those in the US, I know that Thanksgiving can be either a great time or a terrible time because some people really dislike the family gathering aspect of it because sometimes it attracts the people in your family that you might not be getting along too well with, but otherwise it can be a blast because family gatherings are rare in between sometimes for some people. And so it's always a different reason for everybody, but Thanksgiving is a special time for people in the US especially. How do you get all those peanuts, Cosmos? Are those one-of-ones? No, they're not one-of-ones for sure. I know that for a fact. But I did trade. I bought some, traded for some. It takes work. I mean, it's the part of the artisan collecting thing is a lot of trading, a lot of buying and selling and that kind of stuff. I don't really sell too much, but I tend to just trade what I have for something that, you know, they might have. But it takes a while. I mean, of course, I'm grateful for friends who help me, like, for example, like locate some things and they like just ping me saying like, hey, this guy has this, so, you know, good luck. But yeah. Nope. That's fair. Pretty sure they're just Zaku's, the Geon switches? Oh, okay. I'm not huge on long pole switches, not gonna lie. So it's not for me. Not sure if I like long pole for spacebar though. Is it because it's just too loud for spacebar? Because, I mean, the reason I don't like long pole is because it's too loud. And the short travel for sure. But I think the loudness is really something I don't like as much. At least it's just one switch you need to change. If it's just a spacebar that bothers you. I still am willing to try out different long pole switches. But I think the more I use them, the more I realize maybe they're just not for me. So there's that. Alright. Just gonna test the... Wait, is this plugged in? Tweezers. Is this plugged in? Oh, it is. Okay, I think it's just flash with GMK. So, and also I don't have the. I think I have the JSON file here. Do I? I mean, actually, I think I might have, but I haven't checked. Here I have my wide. That's fine. Excuse me. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna test the PCB with the key tester anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let me open that up. Actually, I'm just gonna use switch hitter here. Switch hitter, switch hitter, switch hitter. Here you are. How many Nixies do you get? We got, so I don't know if every reviewer is the same. I got 120 of them. So when I got the review units, I decided to do 60 lubed and 60 unlubed to have the comparison going during the stream that I showed them. I haven't done anything to the other 60 that are still unlubed. I haven't pre-ordered any more just yet. I might just wait until they're in stock actually to order more. Right now I don't feel like I'm gonna get around to using more switches, so I decided against pre-ordering more. So I haven't, yeah, I just haven't ordered more. That's pretty much what it is. Oh, good morning. Good morning, Patty. Is it, what do you mean morning? Is it because you have a nighttime schedule? Or are you saying good morning to Epsi? How many switches do you have unused right now? 3K? No. Unused switches, I probably have maybe a few hundred vintage MX blacks. I have maybe like 90 MX browns, probably like 100 MX clears. I have a few hundred alpacas that I bought when they first came out. Unused, I have some review stuff that I like, extras from like reviews that I either lubed and then desoldered like after trying, or that I was planning on putting somewhere else. I did purchase, yeah, I have like 2,000 switches maybe, because I did purchase like 500 GATX and then yeah, so I have like, yeah, I probably have like somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 switches. They do pile up pretty quickly. So yeah. It's just one of those things for switches. It's like you end up piling them up super fast. So I really try not to buy many switches nowadays, because like between things that either people send or that I have left over from maybe like previous builds, I end up like piling up a ton. Just end up being a bit inconvenient. So I just try to not buy more until I actually need them. I pretty much only buy like right before I need them. Yeah. Clearly a cherry enjoyer. I love it. Yeah, I bought a lot of my cherry switches back in like 2000, like 17, 18, right? 17, 18, 19, I guess. I bought a lot of my cherry switches back then and kind of like forgot. Or not forgot, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use these for a while, so I don't mind. And then I constantly also desolder boards. So yeah. If I need switches, I just desolder boards. How many Jur boards have you have you tried many Jur boards? I just got a Jur 1800. I have not tried the 1800. I actually own a Jur TKL from the first run. So I have the Jur A06 TKL or whatever. And then Jur boards. What other Jur boards are there? 1800. There's the Mini, which I haven't tried. Like, I haven't built one. I've seen one. I've seen the Jur Mini. Like at a meetup. And are there other Jur boards? JER boards? Not sure. It's morning somewhere. Cherry sounds nice and full. Yeah, I mean, I like my cherry switches. I don't mind the scratchiness or whatever. You know, people complain a lot about that, but I honestly, well, once I start typing on it, it's pretty much fine. So I don't mind it much. Alright, so I do need to clip these guys. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, perfect. I'm not gonna need this one. So, okay. Alright, so I need to clip all these guys. Put these guys aside. I like the scratchiness, yeah. I honestly don't mind it. Like I'm very indifferent about it. Kind of learned to just embrace it and deal with it. The 80S is the only other one I know of. Yeah, I think that's it. There's 1800, 2 rounds of the TKL. I know that there's 2 rounds because I remember being tempted to get the second round, but then I was like, oh, I already have one, and then yeah, I just didn't really want to spend like another what. It was like expensive board, the 80. It's probably like $600-700 I think. It's pretty expensive. So I decided against it. Gonna give Meteor Oranges a try, but other than that, I have no interest in using anything other than cherry. Yeah, I mean, I think like if I had to say I want like a go-to switch. Yeah, cherry switches, Gateron switches in general, pretty good. Like milky, like, you know, milky top black, milky top yellow, browns sometimes. Got browns, got X, got inks. I still like them, even though they were kind of on the more expensive side. CJs, I enjoyed them okay. Oil Kings and CJs were, I think, both were pretty enjoyable. But whatever. The Vermilion Birds that I have on the Mech 65 were pretty good too. I enjoyed those a lot. Mizu Minks. Oh, Mizu Minks were really nice when I tried those. Yeah, so I remember the first time I tried the Mizu Minks was in the Gentoo build, I think, right? They were super nice. Those are super good. So yeah, what about GAT switches though? Super solid. GAT switches, cherry switches. I can't say like anything about them. You know, like I get it. Cherry has variants, okay. But ultimately, I can't complain. I like them, and I just buy them. If I need switches. JWK stuff, like basically since the Alpaca V2, I haven't really had a strong desire for any. I think the Alpaca V2 was where I was like, this is a very nice switch. It's very smooth. It's they fixed the problems it had before, and it's great. It's definitely like a nice switch to like a go-to. For other manufacturers, Texi and stuff, for example, or Otemu and Kale and whatever, I will try them out, but I can't say I'm like, oh man, I really must try this new long pole switch. Oftentimes I'll just get switches, like new switches based on colors. So if they match like a specific colorway or something, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, why not? We'll try. But I think, yeah, if you're a go-to switch, I think Cherry or Gateron has never failed me, so I kind of just use those as a baseline. OP Blacks, also pretty nice. Like OP Blacks, Popus. There's so many good switches nowadays, though. Really, yeah. It's not that I don't yearn for innovation in the switch like aspect. There's been some cool ones, like those was it Haimu switches, they're silent ones. I was like, whoa, it's so quiet. Those have a pretty interesting way of doing silent switches. I really like OB Blacks. Yeah, OB Blacks are very nice. They look good too. They also got kind of better between the first round and the second round, I think. I remember the first round of OP Blacks required films. And then I think the second ones, like, they had better tolerances for their housings. But yeah, honestly, I I wish not everything was long pull, but there's so much long pull switches now. Like everything's like under 4mm travel, which is the normal travel length, and I'm like, so it's even a bit less interesting now for me, because I like the regular 4mm travel switches. All right, cool. Have you shown off the case yet? Really interested in USB area? Yeah, sure. I'll show it off now if you want. I haven't started this the stab, so it's a good time to show it off. So here's the top case. Yeah, I can move the mic a little here. Here's the top case. So this is a lilac on silver, raw zinc weights on the inside, engraving with the AIO3 logo, who is the designer. Brutal V2 1800. As you can see, it has internal fastening, so it's going to be seamless. Well, not quite seamless, but screwless on the exterior. And you know, 1800 style layout with the F13 key filled in for this gap here. And then for the back side, you have the brutal V2 styling for the design, which is similar to the 65%, which has also been sold and showed off before and showcased. That's the USB port area if you're curious about it. I'm trying to have it focus there. Nice and tight USB-C port, centered. And you do have like an angled edge and then a straight edge that goes back like that, right? So there's the USB port. And then the back here, my hands are a little, it's also a little cold and warm in my room. I kind of simultaneously have some cold air, like a draft of cold air coming in from the window, and it's kind of warm from the radiator. And then you can see the CannonKeys logo down the middle, bump-ons. And then there's these lines that sort of go from the back part all the way down here, like maybe about all the way like 2/3 in to the back portion. And then the side is very much the same or similar to the original brutal style, the brutalist style, top being larger than the bottom, with that very pronounced, I guess it's like a chamfer, yeah. But yeah, and then it goes all the way to the front. So the front looks like that as well, but very clean. As far as like machining and color and analyzing and just the finish overall goes, I see zero concerns. I don't see really like any banding or like fuzziness or, you know, like any kind of weird streaking or anything like that. It looks like the consistency of the finish is really, really good. Yeah, and as far as the machining goes, there's nothing quirky or anything like that. But yeah, it looks very clean. Yeah, and yeah, the front height is definitely a little bit lower, I think, than the previous boards. You can kind of see that. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, effectively, it's probably like, you know, I don't know. Wait, what is this? Centimeters? Okay. Yeah, probably like somewhere between, like maybe like 17, 18 millimeters. Not sure. But I don't know how people measure it nowadays, but I personally don't mind too much because I do float my wrists from typing. Hello, cool penguin 123456. Hello, hello. Do you break in before lube? I don't. I am too lazy or too impatient to wait for breaking in switches. I don't bother. I used to care. I used to break in switches. I used to put them on a switch tester, like not a switch tester, but you know, like those switch. Yeah, I guess it's a switch tester, like lubing stations, the one like 10x10 ones, like just like with the slots for the switches. Put it on that. I would like flip it upside down, put like a towel or like a sponge or something like underneath so it doesn't like damage my floor. Now just like step on it. That was my break-in method. Before break-in machines were a thing. Before break-in machines were a thing, I would just do that. Oh, am I dropping frames? Oh, maybe I'm just dropping a few frames. And then there goes. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. Oh, Drifty, thanks for gifting a sub. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, the new Brutal series overall looks really clean. and it's very consistent throughout all the form factors. So if you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. It just depends on what form factor you want to use. So yeah. All right. Need to start lubing some stabs. Let's see. Do you like creams at all? Somewhat long pull, but still 4mm of travel. Yeah. So kale creams, I'm actually okay with them. I actually have Nolives, which are creams, basically recolored creams, on my Oh, there's an ad playing. Okay. Maybe my internet is just hiccuping a little right now. Anyway, yo, Ankit, I do like creams. The only thing about creams is I think those do kind of need a bit of a breaking period, like either like typing or just like just pressing. I think though, like if they're smoothing out a little bit and then you lube it, they're pretty good. I think they have a very characteristic sound to them though that I'm not huge on. But at least for the Nolives that I have, the Nolives I put some on. I bought a bunch of Nolives when they came out, and I put a batch in my Dolce pack custom build like plateless. And then on the Juby as well, I think I put Nolives, and they sound very good. I actually like how Nolives sound on plateless builds like that. So yeah, so creams in plateless builds sound pretty good. I've tried creams in other builds too though, like I think I've tried them in like a few Key Cult number 2s and such, and like a few other boards that people have sent over time, and those are okay too, like aluminum plates or even brass plates I think I tried, and they sounded pretty good. But I would say it's not my go-to switch. Like I still will prefer to just get Cherry or Gateron linears over Kale creams. But I'll consider them. Like I think if I have a batch of them, I'm not gonna refuse to use them. I'll still use them. But generally speaking, I'm not very closed up about trying out new stuff. So yeah, it's the cakes. Thank you so much for the 14 months. Appreciate it. I guess I was dropping a few frames earlier though. Alright. Are you putting foam in this? I don't think anyone has built the V2 1800 foamless on stream yet. Okay, I'll do it foamless then. A few people in the chat insisted on foamless, so I'll do it foamless. Including yourself. So why not? You can do foamless and go from there. As the keyboard gods intended. Oh, did the music stop? Yo, do we want a throwback playlist? Oof. Because so I realized this is a funny thing. You guys remember when Nathan would play that one playlist all the time? And then people played it all the time. And then nobody plays it now. Because well, people were like, ah! So we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back. You know what's funny though? The playlist I curated, because I also curated the playlist. Like I actually went through the Epidemic Sounds catalog, went through jazz, went through some like contemporary stuff, went through like a few other, like, you know, a few different genres, right? That I personally enjoy, some instrumental, that's like mixed. And I actually curated it. I actually have a 268 song playlist separately made by myself. Like it's actually like I chose the playlist and the songs, and I have 268 songs in one playlist. And funnily enough, like, you know, songs keep coming out. Epidemic Sound actually continuously releases songs because they have like different bands and artists who you know create these songs for them. And it's funny though, because obviously it's a select number of those artists, so obviously their styles will show right? Over time, like if you listen to several songs, you'll know. Like for example, this is by Haranoda, right? And if you listen to other songs by the same artist, they do sound like similar because, well, yeah, it's everyone's style, right? But funnily enough, it's actually quite a lot of songs. But people will always be like, oh, that one song. But funnily enough, it's just because people have listened to streams a lot, and like, you know, including Nathan's and other people's, and it's like, yeah, like you recognize them because they've just played them over and over, like this set of maybe like 100 songs that people will like just recognize, or like, oh yeah, there's that one Epidemic Sound like jazz song that I've heard in literally every video. Like also like tech reviewers and random blog like vloggers will use them, right? Because Epidemic Sound is like a subscription-based service for creators, right? It's just kind of funny. Sometimes I hear it in like coffee shops. I've gone to coffee shops and I was like, hold on, what's this? Take all my headphones, right? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh, I see where that comes from. Because they also have like a Spotify you know, like channel, so they also like post them up there. It's free to stream, right? So anyone can use them for free sometimes. But if you, for example, want to monetize things, like put them on YouTube or like Twitch VODs or whatever, you have to like have a license, which I do. Are you doing half plate? No, I'm doing full plate. I can hear the old TT sub sounds and the same laugh. the Fiel sounds when someone subs, right? Or I forget what the triggers were. There's the beam spring one, I think, and there was the Fiel. There's the Blue Alps one, yeah. There's so many, right? So recognizable. It's like it's in everybody's like ears at this point. I think Boris sounds good without foam. That's good. All right. I mean, we'll see. I remember trying the 65 without foam too, I think. Imagine trying to get away from keyboard streams for a coffee break only for it to come for you. Yeah. I mean, but what if you just mix them together and watch keyboard streams at the coffee shop because they have Wi-Fi, right? Have you guys ever been to coffee shops that like will explicitly not provide Wi-Fi? Like they refuse to, like as in like they just say like no Wi-Fi here. Here is a place to drink coffee and talk or whatever. I've been to a few shops. I mean, I've seen a few shops like that, kind of like hipster shops. I was like, wait, no Wi-Fi? What kind of coffee shop has no Wi-Fi? I was like, huh? It's like, I'm not coming here again because I'm here to work. You know, I'm here to grab a cup of coffee, maybe like a croissant or something, and just sit down and do work. And I want Wi-Fi. But I've been to a few shops that they were like, oh, we don't have Wi-Fi, or we don't give people the Wi-Fi password because, you know, we are super hipster. And I'm like, yeah, you're hip, and you're not gonna get any business, and you're probably gonna close down in a few months because your coffee sucks too. Just kidding. Their coffee was okay. It was alright. A-okay. No Wi-Fi, no customers. I know. I'm like, yeah, so many people just go to coffee shops to work. It's a nice break from other spaces that you might work in, like whether it's the office or your home, right? Build at the coffee shop. Oh man, that reminds me. There was someone who one time, like they were local at the time, I think. You know, they're interested in keyboard build services from me. And they also were like, oh hey, like do you think you could like teach me how to solder? I'm like, there's a lot of guides out there, right? I'm like, yeah, like I don't think, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I can like do that. It's not like I can just take my soldering tools to a coffee shop or something. We just sit down and do that. Or like if you have a space, sure, okay, but no. I was just like, no. You know, there's guides out there. It's really easy to learn. There's like tutorials, like basically they walk you through step by step. And soldering is not too difficult, right? Especially like through hole soldering. And I was like, yeah, no. But I remember someone like once suggested that. They were like local. I'm like, yeah, no. I'm not gonna like carry like a few pounds of soldering equipment and you know, plug it in a public space. They're like, focus on conversation, not your phone. Yeah, I've seen those shops. Yeah. Like, man, I'm trying to do homework. Yeah, it's like sometimes I'm on my phone to look up the PDF file of whatever document I need to look at. You know, it's not just me and, you know, iMessages or like whatever, WhatsApp. Would be a funny sight. Yeah, soldering in a public space, like especially like in the coffee shop. People just trying to work there or something, enjoying their coffee, and there's like like solder fumes. Dude. Or straight up, bring the fan. Bring the fan. She's like, sorry, you're gonna hear some fan noises, guys. And just turn on the fume extractor. Environmental, just casual environmental, just a little extra little noise. You know, it's just brown noise, guys, no problem. Just a little extra noise for your for your concentration. Fan blowing directly to the person next to you. Lead. Love it. You don't carry a TS100 with your laptop charger? Yeah. Or like the Pine Sol or whatever. I think there's those kits that are cheaper too. They're super cheap too now. The like soldering kits with that are like rechargeable, USB-C and everything. Super nice. Way to reduce the ping of my Zoom 65 without removing the clackiness of my tungsten. Since I go without any foam, it sounds too hollow and using it reduces the clackiness. Forest break mod is a good suggestion. Forest break basically is dampening the resonance that occurs from the metallic case pieces touching each other, and effectively will not change any like functionality or like feel of the board. So that's something you can try. It basically just involves putting little strips of tape or some kind of material between, like, around the screw holes of the case, or just like around different parts of the case pieces that touch each other. Should be easy to find. Polyfill? Yeah. Don't forget your desoldering gun in case you need to remove a switch. I mean, even if you take the solder pult, right, like the pump, it's like poo, poo, poo. It's like super obnoxious, dude. And just like casually dusting off like pieces of solder onto the floor. God. Because like sometimes it splatters a little, right? Get a laptop brick and USB-C? Yeah. Hey Diego, how you doing? You majestic being. Oh, please. So you know what, I'm doing alright. Just you know, enjoying the weekend, I guess. Kinda cold this weekend. Let's see, what did I do? I mean, yesterday I just chilled, watched some anime, went out to eat, was originally gonna get ramen because it was kind of cold, and then went to get, actually the ramen place was so full, it was so packed that walk-ins It would take like 30-40 minutes for us to be seated. So I just went to eat Chinese food. It was like Sichuan. Pretty good. It was really good. I remember, I think the appetizer was like a cold dish. It was like pork belly with spicy chili oil, chili oil and garlic and stuff. It was really yummy. And then what did we get? We got dandan noodles, very yummy with pork. Dandan mian, and we also got some eggplant and garlic sauce, and we also got another spicy dish. What was it? It was something else. Anyway, something else. Some other spicy dish with like chili oil. It's pretty yummy though. Is that one song remix? Yeah. A lot of songs like this. Yeah. Which anime though? Well, so lately I recently started, relatively recently started One Piece. So I watched the end of the Drum Island arc for One Piece. I'm like around episode like 90 on One Piece. I'm doing One Piece, but One Piece doesn't have all the releases for their episodes. So I watch One Piece and then sometimes I have to break away to watch the rest of that arc. So I currently finished Drum Island for One Piece, which is right before Alabasta. And then caught up with Chainsaw Man. Today I caught up with Spy Fam. I also finished the Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting. Pretty wholesome anime, pretty wholesome show. It's only like 13 episodes or 12 episodes. Super wholesome, super cute. I actually watched that while like lubing switches and like just chilling. Just killing time. It was pretty good though, super cute show. So yeah. Oh no, that's going to be a long time. I don't mind. So the reason I started One Piece was because I figured it would be a nice way to fill in the time when I'm like not watching something else that I'm following that season or that I like have been wanting to watch. So yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind being caught up with One Piece like 4 years from now. Maybe it'll have ended by then, and I'll just be going through it slowly. That's fine. It's been a fun ride. I think the really fun part about watching One Piece now is seeing the old art style. Kind of like seeing that old like watercolor like backdrop and the way they actually animate it physically. Super cool, and you can see how it evolves, right? Like they start adding CG, they start adding more 3D kind of stuff. Super neat. But the old school like animation style is very nostalgic. Have you watched Bocchi the Rock? No, I don't think so. Curious how the Brutal V2 will compare to the Odin V2. I have not tried the Odin, not even the V1 if I recall, so I cannot give you even like a reference point at all. I actually don't get many KBDfans boards lately. Like there was a time I got like a ton of KBD75s. I got some I think I got some Majas, like Vulcan one, the Ergo. I got like, you know, like a few Tofus and KBD67s, like but I did not KBD8Xs. I built a bunch of KBD8Xs for a while too. Yeah, for a lot of the recent stuff, like all the recent stuff like Tiger, Odin, what, I don't even know, all of these different ones. I have not tried. I have not tried. I am not like affiliated with KBDfans, so I think that might be why. As a content creator, you know, as someone who builds, I am not like affiliate with them, so they don't like send out units to me for me to build. But you know, if you go and look at like Alex's content, or I guess Nathan hasn't been doing much lately, but he's been coming back to stream lately. They do a lot of KBDfans boards as they release, or like right before they release, so they might be good references for it too. Funnily enough, I also haven't tried the Tiger 80. I've heard so much about it, but I also haven't tried it. Mainly because KBDfans hasn't sent a board for me, like hasn't reached out to me to say like, hey, like we are KBDfans and we want you to build this. And also I haven't had like any customers in particular. Right now, I mean, I do have my commissions closed like for the general public just because I'm trying to catch up on things, and I'm kind of getting busier towards the end of this year. So just decided to not pile up extra work while I can. But I'll be reopening my commissions maybe end of this year, like late this year, early next year, pretty soon. I'm pretty much almost caught up. I just want to focus on some like big deadlines for my own work, and so yeah, just end of year crunch things. Just been trying to focus a little bit more on myself too, so I closed them for that reason. It's a 1.2mm flex cut PCB with silicone socks and leaf springs. Okay. I see. So, well, so the flex cuts immediately kind of, you know, tell you that it's gonna be softer typing, 1.2mm as well. Might be a little exacerbated. It depends also like how the flex cuts are arranged or how many there are. Like if there's like one per every row, it's gonna be bending a lot. Typically ends up also sounding more muted the more of these cuts there are, because they be pretty much the energy that from your typing, the sound escapes through the flex cut movement. It's like energy in, energy out. The movement dissipates all that, so it gets quieter. And 1.2mm is just gonna make it more flexible. So this is, I mean, this in particular is a 1.6mm PCB, so I'm already expecting a sturdier typing experience compared to that. Flex cuts, there's only very thin ones between num row and QWERTY row, and then home row and the ZXZ row, the bottom row. So not going to be very pronounced as far as flexibility, like not nearly as much. Can you explain what you're doing, please? Yeah, sure. I'm currently lubing stabilizers. So if you don't know the parts of a keyboard, the keyboard has the case, and then on the inside you have, this is the circuit board, printed circuit board or PCB. The printed circuit board, you basically are assembling with all the parts that go into it. So right now I'm lubing stabilizers. Stabilizers are basically anything, they're like the plastic contraptions, plastic and metal contraptions that basically allow longer keys, anything longer than 1U, to basically go down evenly as you press it on any part of the key. So what I'm doing is I'm applying lubricant to prevent the rattling of this metallic part inside of the plastic insert, because if you leave it alone, then it will like vibrate, and in those vibrations it may rattle. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm using a brush with PTFE based lubricant grease. This is called Krytox 205 grade 0, and then applying it on this metallic wire so that you fill up the space and you prevent rattling. The Brutal V2 is one key narrower, which is attractive to me since it brings the board and the mouse slightly closer together. So yeah, so it still retains a bit of that full size-ness, I guess, while saving you some space. That's good. Was that a good enough explanation as far as the basics go? So yeah, stabilizers are for that reason. They effectively make your longer keys work like as if they were smaller, like as if they were a singular movement when you press on them. This is how all of these mechanical keyboards work. Actually, well, even your membrane keyboard has stabilizers, just implemented in a different way. Some of them use clips, like plastic clips, and in this case, these cherry style stabilizers use these metallic wires, which basically act as like levers. The Odin is 1800 plus. It has one key row between the alphas and the numpad. Okay. Oh yeah, right. It has the arrow cluster, and then it has one more column. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's like the 4398 that I built maybe 2-3 streams ago is that layout. Or the Austin from Drift Mechanics is the same layout, I believe. It's 1800 style with the extra column, I think. Or is it? Similar, right? 2U keys work surprisingly well without stabilizer. Yeah, they do. Mostly because in a lot of cases, people don't press off-center as much on 2U. And also 2U is not that big. I mean, 1.75 doesn't use a stabilizer most of the time. Actually, there's like some Alps keyboards that have 1.75U size stabilizers for like the caps lock or a shorter shift or something like that. But on Cherry MX, we don't use stabilizers for 1.75U because the 1.75U keys don't have the stems for stabilizers. But yes, 2U you can actually use unstabilized and it will work fairly well. I think starting from after 2U, anything bigger from 2U, it is a good chance that you'll also press it off center, like your left shift, for example, or your enter key. Because you're reaching out with your pinky, and which may entail that you press it off center, and that's why you need a stabilizer. Austin has 2U 0K. Okay, got it. Thanks for the insight. I honestly have built some of these boards, but it's been a while. I don't own an Austin. I've just built a few for friends, folks. I have keyboard too. Good. Do you like Alps? I do. I think Alps. The problem with Alps is, for the most part now, you can consider a lot of it is vintage. So a lot of it will stem from older boards or like that were manufactured a long time ago or relatively recently, but still before. I like Alps. A lot of the I really like Alps tactiles and clickies in particular. They are just by nature different sounding and feeling sometimes from Cherry MX or Topre or whichever else style that you might think of, like buckling spring. So they're nice. But the only problem is, for example, Alps has some drawbacks. The fact that it's vintage means that you need to source parts separately, right? You need to source components individually, and they have to be compatible with each other. You need to have keycaps that are compatible with a specific layout you're building, and the stabilizers for that particular layout you have to also have. Normally, my front cam died for a second there. And then, so everything needs to be compatible. So you need to have a compatible PCB with compatible stabilizers and keycap set, right? So that can be annoying. Sourcing parts is usually the hardest part. The second biggest drawback of Alps switches is the fact that they're prone to dust. That specifically just has to do with the anatomy of the switch. The anatomy of the switch just has entry points for dust to come in. And so these vintage boards, or just these boards that have been sitting on shelves or in the garbage or whatever warehouses, they've been sitting for a long time collecting dust, which effectively that dust eventually will get trapped inside of the switch and will, or you know, moisture, things like that, they'll corrode. They'll either corrode or damage the switch, or at least make the action suboptimal compared to when they were first put onto the board. So yeah, that's the problem. You get suboptimal condition switches most of the time. So it's a switch harvesting process oftentimes. There are some Alps compatible options, like the Matthias stuff, but a lot of people don't necessarily like them. So it's also a matter of you liking the stuff that's available out there. Not Alps, but I was thinking about a true HKB professional as an office board. I feel like I can get more for the money with MX style though. Yes, you definitely get more MX. I mean, you definitely get more MX compatible options, just in general. MX is the most popular option in the current market. Period. No doubt. No doubt. MX compatible is the most ubiquitous style for keyboards right now. Old or new. But I personally do use Topre in an office setting. I do have an HKB at work, and I use it every day. And personally, I have no issues with it. If I need a numpad, I have a separate numpad I can just plug in. I don't anymore. I don't do much data entry, so numpad is kind of a non-utilitarian thing anymore for me, for the most part. Now you're making me want to put covers over my boards. MX, surprisingly, is not as prone to dust and that kind of damage as much, because it just simply doesn't happen as easily for MX. Also the keycaps fit quite snugly around the stems, and there's not many places where the dust can just easily enter. And this like, we're talking also about like very long amounts of time, like years just sitting in very dusty conditions. Do you get a haircut or do you need one? I need one. I haven't gotten a haircut in a while. It's definitely getting longer, that's why. And probably because, you know, probably like showered earlier this morning, and, you know, just the way it dried probably just looks different. Curious how so many Alps are bad, but everyone on the aftermarket lists theirs as 9 out of 10. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a subjective thing. Obviously, a seller is going to advertise their item to be more favorably than it may be. You cannot necessarily be 100% sure that what they're saying is correct or true. So yeah, it's a bit of a gamble. Yeah, so that just goes with anything that is harvested or that is used, really. People will say, oh, it's, you know, brand new essentially, or it's as good as new, or it's just very good condition. But what does very good mean to them might be very different from how you think of it. So, yep. How would you recommend I lube MX Browns if I only have 205 grade 0? Oh, it's easy. So for 205 grade 0, first of all, I personally think that 205 grade 0 is a very thick lubricant, just in general. So for 205 grade 0, I only lube the stem. If I were to lube the stem with 205 grade 0, for MX Browns in particular, don't come close to the front legs at all. Just lube the sides, that's it, okay? Don't touch the front at all. Don't touch the legs. If you touch the legs, the tactility is gonna be dead. You're gonna kill the tactility immediately when you touch the front legs. Especially even if you just touch it a bit at the edge, that lube is gonna rub into the onto the leaf. The switch leaf is eventually gonna transfer that lube back onto the stem. Goodbye tactility. So for MX Browns, I do not touch the front legs ever at all. So don't do that. I would say that of 3204 and 3203 as well, to be honest. I don't touch the front legs. I just don't do it. So because I like the tactility of MX Browns as it is, stock. Changing the spring will also modify how that feels to you. So finding your ideal spring weight for MX Brown switches is going to be to your benefit. I suggest trying different things out compared to stock. Personally, Cherry MX stock springs kind of suck, so I tend to toss them all out anyway. I tend to switch them. I like anything between 55 and 65 grams pretty much, but I'll tend to toss out any Cherry MX stock springs. Don't really like them, don't really use them. I always lube springs. I just put them into a tub. I have like Chinese takeout boxes, like you know, like containers that I use to lube stuff. Like basically like my lube station is basically that. Actually, I can show you how what it looks like. But it literally is just Chinese takeout containers with covers that one of them has oil in it, and I just toss all my springs that I need lubed. Cover it, shake it up, uncover it, use tweezers to separate them, and voila. I'm worried that I'll get the HKB and it'll feel like an OEM mech board unless I tune it. Okay, So Alaska in winter, I think that currently HHKBs, like stock from like PFU or whatever, they come in pretty well. Like tune / like even stock condition is very good. Toper in general does kind of feel like OEM because it is a rubber dome based mechanism. So unfortunately that there's not much that can help you there. You'll have to just learn to embrace it for what it is. I like Toper for the weights, how it's consistent and all that, and you know, I do think stock nowadays they come in like they're very nice. The stabilizers don't rattle, generally not as badly, and yeah, you can always open up Toper boards and lube them, mod them yourself. Not too difficult. You can actually follow my video. I have a stream that's called Happy Hacking, like HKB Professional Hybrid Modding Build Stream or something like that. And a lot of people have used that as a guide. It's a bit long. The video is long because it's just a build stream VOD. But I pretty much following those steps have worked for a lot of people. I just do that. Normally, you can do that yourself. It's not as difficult. I mean, I do suggest just like taking a quick look over if you want. But yeah, lubing Toper is actually not as difficult as people think it is. The only part that's a little daunting is the fact that you need to take apart the board, and there's like a lot of screws, and there's like those little springs under the domes, and those can fly all over the place if you're like careless. But if you follow things step by step and you're careful, then that won't happen. Alps equals turntables and vinyl. Yeah, that's a good comparison. It's a pretty good comparison. I've tried Alps that I thought were really nice, and then I tried some harvested NIB ones, and they were night and day better. I see. Yeah, Alps will definitely depend on the condition. Condition matters a lot for Alp switches, and for a lot of vintage for what it's worth. Yeah. I use a Ziploc. That's fine. The only reason I use the tub is because it's reusable. I've pretty much just been reusing that same tub for years now. That tub has been used so much, and like it's always been oiled, right? That I think it's yellowed a little bit, a decent bit actually. It's like compared to my other clean containers, it's like significantly like yellowed. But the good thing is I use the same oil every time, so it's like you know, I add more if I need to. I just use the Victorinox like knife oil, multi-tool oil, and I just add more drops if I need to. But the nice thing is that like whatever's remnant of the oil, you know, I don't need to waste it. I can just keep using that and a little more for springs, because springs don't need that much oil. Diego about to evolve some weird lube creature in that tub. Weird lube creatures might already exist. Where's Krelvin? Just kidding. Anyway. Let's test the stabs. I probably over oil my springs because I use the same Ziploc. It doesn't really over lube, because as long as it doesn't bring extraneous sounds or extraneous profiles to how it works, it's not a problem. Oil just drips out. It's just oil. That's the nice part about it. Like, it's not like grease that it kind of like clumps and sticks. So yeah. I mean, I can show you. I have it over here actually. Like the way I have my setup for switches. So what I do, right? So what I do for switches, I have these containers. This is just an empty container. You know, it's literally like, oh, so this is my oil tub, right? You can see how the lid is slightly yellowed. But this one I'm always careful to, you know, obviously not stack with each other because it's oily, right? It's gonna like smear everywhere. Obviously the outside is fine. But yeah, that's the oil tub. There's a bunch of cat here, you know. Whatever. Anyway, so I just, you know, keep them like this, right? I just keep them like that, and you know, when I open a switch, right, I just grab a switch, right? I just grab a switch, and you know, we'll open it up, right? I just will open it up, right? Like using either a switch opener or whatever, right? Open it up, and then I'll put, you know, a spring over here, or if I'm not using this spring, then I put it in a different place. But if I'm using the same spring, I'll just put the spring here, you know, bottom housing, stem, top housing. And then I lube the switches, right? And I start grabbing from each pile and lube the switches. And then as they're done, I just toss them into my other container and just rinse and repeat until you're done. And the nice thing about these, you know, containers is that they stack, so I can just, you know, I can just stack them, right? And I can just carry this much, right, around. It's great. So, what's your opinion on back lubing stems? You can do it. I've certainly done it before. I personally don't prefer it because it seems it's a little messy. The other problem with back lubing stems is that the top of the stems get all lubed up, and also sometimes you have like a lot of too much lube, depending on what lube you're using and how much you're using. It's fine. People do it all the time. I know some people who exclusively back lube. It's just messy. I prefer brushing the lube, but that's just a personal preference. Just because I think it's messy otherwise. You can do it, but I personally like having control over how much lube I'm using, and with the brush, having control over that specifically. And I'll drink some water. Alright, let's get going. GK only looking real nice? Yeah, it's pretty good. I actually like it more in person than I thought I would. And initially, I actually did not like go in on the group buy and bought it separately, but I like it more than I thought. Bent that pin over there. Switch is going in really nicely into the plate. Pretty nice. Oh wait, wrong position, pretty sure. I modded my buddy's keyboard the other day. Glad to say I was able to finally do a good job on lubing. Nice. Yeah, I mean, the more, it's just practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you, yeah, it's just practice. You just see people do it, you do it yourself. Eventually you just get better at it. Which is a good thing. Kind of do it by feel, yeah? Also, if I miss any questions or anything like that, feel free to ask again. Sometimes I miss things and I just don't see them because I'm busy looking down. Or answering somebody else's question and then kind of like, I have it in mind to answer it, but then I forget. Alright, testing out these stabs now. Let's see, where's my Keycaps here? Sounded like foam, but I still missed the board. I was so proud. That's nice. I'm glad that it turned out that way, Cam. Honestly, I do feel like my own boards don't turn out as well as the ones I built for people. I often do believe that the builds I do for other people are better than my own, generally speaking. I think it's true. So oh, I think I need a few Numpad keys. Bring a few in a bit. The whole less more thing with Lube became more and more obvious over the years. Yeah. I think the more you keep doing it, it's kind of obvious that you don't really need that much for it to feel different and good. So yeah. How goes the keyboards building? It's going all right. Pretty chill. Everything good. Testing stabs now. Commission yourself to build your own board? I mean, yeah, effectively that's what it is. It's because there's the pressure of you wanting the client to feel satisfied. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely scared of one day having someone to receive something that I sent them and then them being like, you know, actually I was pretty disappointed. I do think there probably are folks out there who have received a board from me and they were probably like, I would probably do a better job myself, or maybe they were just like, not great, but I can't say that to him, you know. Oh, and haven't said anything. But maybe they're like, I'll just do it myself next time instead of spending money for this. Surely. And I don't mind. I mean, that's fair. For what it's worth, like when it comes to client builds, right, for people, it's because they don't want to buy the tools a lot of the time. They don't want to buy soldering tools, or they don't have the time to do it. They maybe work a job, you know, that's very busy, or they just have a family, you know, it could be anything. And they just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do that. So, yeah, it's fair. Alright, let me grab a key set here. They're too scared of ruining something that costs half their paycheck? Yeah. I mean, keyboards are expensive. So, I get that too. It's like you spent, you know, anywhere from $200 to $500, $700, even more sometimes. And, you know, if it ends up being disappointing, then, you know, it feels like a lost cause. Like, it's just kind of sad, right? So, I get it. Leaving it to someone who kind of like has done it a lot of times. It's kind of like hiring movers, you know? You don't want to blow your back while moving. You've done it before, or you can do it yourself, but might as well have the experts do it, right? Or like the more experienced people just do it. I have the tools, I have the time, I'm simply lazy. That's totally fair. You know, sometimes laziness... time is money, after all. Time is money. And sometimes laziness means you buy some time for yourself. And you have somebody else spend that time doing it. That's fine. Yeah, whatever. You're basically paying money to have that extra lazy time. Which I personally value a lot. Because I know it because I'm lazy too. So yeah. Alright, I think the stabs sound pretty good. So just gonna go ahead and put the rest of the switches. Has a key set been chosen? This deserves Handerbite? I believe not. And do you really want Handerbite on it? Does Handerbite go well with lilac and silver boards? Codebra just an avid advocate of Handerbite, which is fine. Don't mind. You know what goes well? Beige? That would go well, yeah. I also just got a Muted, GMK Muted R2. I got that in the mail, so that could work too with the accents. Frost Wedge, yeah, that can work too. That new CannonKeys BOGO got me tempted to get 2 sets of beige. Ooh, yeah, the BOGO deal is pretty good. 2 for 1. Do you have any beige Keycaps? I have the 9009 dark set, and I have the. Let me see. I have a list somewhere here. Where's the list? Can't find it. Huh. I'm not sure where I put it. But I'm pretty sure I have. I don't know what else it's. What else is there beige that's CannonKeys? Like Keycaps or nice PVT? Beige. I didn't get the recent ones, like the. I remember there was the Hangul sets and like some of the other ones. I didn't get those. I know. Classic beige. I mean, of course, I do have like GMK or CRP. Sugar plum would also be nice. Yeah, sugar plum would also be nice. Yeah. Although, oh, actually, I don't think I have sugar plum here with me. I think I might have left that at work. I think I did. Cause I think I took one of the Bakken Echoes, and then I think I had it on there. I think I might not have sugar plum with me. I do have the CXA set actually. I have the CXA sugar plum. That's a different profile. Could work with that too. Any blanks? I mean, I have blue blanks, pink blanks. What other blanks are there? Honestly, I think that's about it. Also this one. You can ask Drew. The key reader blanks are great for the money. Yeah, the those are the ones that are sold by TKC, right? Yeah, I haven't bought them. I think I bought one for a friend actually, but not for myself. Yeah, because I think those are ABS blanks, right? Pretty sure. Got a friend to get them instead of a clone. Nice. That's good. Lesser evil. Yeah. That's for sure. Oh yeah, Soren. Do you need a face for you to make the Nathan emote? People have been asking. And I was like, wait, I don't think I have an expression that's like that one. So we can make one. I can get my... Oh, I don't have my glass with me, but... we can just do it. We need a Diego emote. Okay, hold on. I need to pull up the emote so I know exactly what it looks like. Where is it? It's in the suggestions. It's just deadpan serious, right? Just stare at the camera. Okay, you can do that. Are you going to use mod pipe? No. What the heck? No. All right. All right, we can do this. All right, focus. Is that good? Yes. Okay. Easy mode. Just stare. One bad screenshot. Oh boy. Oh, it's all it takes. So funny. Can't name it lime? What about dime? You can name it whatever you want. As long as it's not offensive, it's fine. I don't care. Alright. Oh, plenty of switches. Nice. Always good to have extras. Alright. Let's get to it. Alright, time to turn on our soldering iron. Fume extractor. Ugh. Alright, waiting for that to heat up. And okay. Alright, sorry about the noise, but just bear with it. It's not very loud, I think. Let's get started. Should be a breeze here. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all Saturdays have been good. It's a busy time for a lot of people, I think, so hope you're staying warm and safe and healthy. Oh yeah, I hope you don't catch anything because definitely cold's been going around. Flu, COVID. And then with the sun setting, like the sun sets here at like 4:30 right now, 4:20, 4:30. The sun is already setting up like in New York. So by the time you're out of work, it's already dark. So it's kind of depressing, to be honest. So I hope that's not bringing you down, because it certainly does sometimes for me. I'm like, oh, out and it's dark. Is 6040 much more difficult to desolder than 6337? I seem to be struggling for some reason. Not an incredible amount, no. It shouldn't be much more difficult, but it should still be a bit more... It should still take a little bit longer for it to melt, but any kind of lead content will be a lot easier to desolder compared to lead-free. So it should be kind of similar to 6337. It's not that far off, but 6337 is the easiest to solder and desolder with. Yeah, I would say it should still, like, you don't need to really change much of it on the temperature side. It may be just a matter of, like, you know, slightly longer overall, but it really shouldn't be much different. Because I did use 6040 for a while because that was what I had. And then I switched to 6337 later, but yeah, it was not that different, that much different, at least for me. What temperature do you desolder at? I desolder around the same temperature I solder, so anywhere between 350. So I currently solder at 350 degrees Celsius. So I will desolder around 350 or 400 depending, and I will sometimes raise it, or sometimes if you have like flux around, flux will help a lot in helping you desolder things. Sometimes what you might want to do is just use your soldering iron instead, and then just like touching the joint and trying to melt some melt some solder that's like on top of the joint that you're trying to desolder, which will like mixing that will try to like help a bit in desoldering and like melting the entire joint. But yeah, it shouldn't be that much different from your regular soldering temp. A little hotter is kind of nice, but just be careful not to leave for too long, because it can, you can end up damaging your PCB pads. So like on a Hako 301 right now, I'm like on the 1.5 line, pretty sure. No worries. You're welcome. If you're using a pump, like, it might just be a matter of patience and practice. But yeah, adding a little bit of like solder and melting it over might be helpful. So maybe try that. Alright, folks. Well, I don't want to go into too much detail, but please do check out the sponsors for this channel. Of course, I want to give a big thank you to my friends over at CannonKeys. Upas was around earlier, but Anna and AIO3 and all the folks out there in CannonKeys who helped make things happen, and for sending this brutal V2 Series 1800. Thank you, thank you. But of course, CannonKeys, as well as many other vendors, are sponsoring vendors in the scene, and so I want to thank them as well for allowing me to check out new products. And for you guys, if you want to show any kind of support, if you make your purchases using affiliate links when they're available, which they are on the exclamation sponsors on my website's sponsors page, you can find the direct links to different affiliate links. And of course, if you're in my Discord server, anytime I post news from sponsors, I also add affiliated tags for a lot of them. Some of them offer discounts as well. So for example, CV Planet does offer discounts for plates, for custom plates, and some in-stock parts as well. So you can check that out. But yeah, normally affiliate links are at no cost to you at all. They simply provide a very small kickback from the products that you purchase from the different vendors. So yeah. I'm using SSO2 and I desolder 6337 with no problem at all. Before, I tried 6030 earlier and couldn't get a single switch out. Very frustrating. Yeah. I would trying to melt some solder on top, and then try to melt the entire joint and then desoldering. Because you want to make sure that your entire joint is melted before you use the pump. And it is a matter of practice in terms of centering the pump properly on top of the joint, like creating that seal, and then pressing the button to pull the solder. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. If you have like a remnant of solder that still keeps your switch pin like attached to the PCB, instead of trying to desolder that little bit out, resolder the joint, like re-add solder to make it a normal joint again. Let it cool off for a little bit, and then come back to it later, and then try to desolder again. Letting it cool off for a bit, it will help your PCB, like, your PCB pads not get shocked from the heat, or like, having them like too hot that they're gonna, come off. So I suggest, like, if you're resoldering some of these like joints that you're trying to desolder, like resolder them and then come back to it later once it cools off a little bit. That should help, I think. Why is it on the bottom? What thing? Oh. Emote? Nice. We have a new emote. Oh, need to add that over to Discord. Wait, can you have 17 emotes like sync with Discord? I don't think so, right? So you just have to import them over. I'll do that later. Or actually, Jura, don't you have perms? If you do, you could do it. Or actually, I don't know if you do actually. So I'll check. Post in Twitch janitors. Oh, great. Oh, right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can save it now. That's great. I love it. Thank you. Just Meowgo. I think Meowgo is fine on the server. Let's see. Emoji upload Meowgo.png. Did it upload? Wait, did it? Oh, probably not. Wait, did it? It did. The scaling's kind of off. Oh, is it? Okay, anyway, I put it on the Discord. Alright, soldering is done. So before I proceed, just gonna test PCB. What's your favorite full size? Huh. Full size. I really like just the standard. Well, it depends. If you're asking about a custom keyboard, or even just like a modded stuff, like a standard G80 like cherry style board is pretty nice. G80 1800, or even the full size one is pretty good. It's a bit big though, so it takes up a lot of space. There are some new options coming up, I think, for custom keyboards. Like I think TX did like a TX 108 a long time ago. And there's like the Equal Z like Mountain at some point. I think the Murakumo by Zekworks is coming up soon through switchmod.net. There's also going to be there's one by what's his name, the folks at North Carolina. Is it the Fossil? The Fossil from, yeah, is it the Fossil keyboard? Yeah, from Carolina Mech. Carolina Mech is also doing the Fossil full size. That's also pretty cool looking. If you wanted a large, like, you know, full size, actual full size custom keyboard, the Fossil is pretty cool. But I don't really use full size these days, so I don't have a strong preference. I mean, there's like the TX 1800, for example, if you want to try something like that, like a slightly more compressed layout. There's TX 1800 that you have as an option to use, or just search for rather, because it's no longer like made in the market. There's the Austin as well, which was pretty nice at the time I used it a few times. Yeah, there's not that many out there though, so just have to look. Okay, just reflowing a few of these guys. Alright, cool, looks good. The Boston's pretty cool. Alright, let's test this out first. This is a function key probably, so I don't know what keys it has set, but okay, whatever, should be fine. Alright. Cool, everything works, so let's put it into the board. That's fast. Okay, so let's open this up. We're using these Torx. I think they're Torx. Looks like T6. Hey, may I ask how you have your camera mounted? I use a C stand. Just look up a C stand. It's also on my exclamation gear page. If you go to the kit.co site, or if you go to the other links listed there, it's also there. But it's just a C stand, and then I just have the adapters for the camera. I mean, like, the adapter is just gonna be like whichever fits the ball, the tripod ball, the tripod head. Yeah. And then of course for the C stand you're going to need counterweights. So I use sandbags for that, like the camera style sandbags. You can find those online pretty easily too. Because the camera itself is pretty heavy, you don't want that falling over. Okay. Alright, so let me see here how to put this together. Alright, so gaskets go on. Okay, single-sided gasket mount. And then gasket installation. I think I'm gonna install it on the case. So let's do that. Okay, so based on that, there's 4 at the corners first. Looking to get a Sony a6300 for streaming and looking for an easy way to mount it as top down, have limited space. If you don't want a C stand, you can try using like the Elgato multi-mount thing. That one can be attached to. The problem is it is going to be attached to like your desk or something like that. And obviously it will wobble a decent bit. The most secure way is to use a C stand. It wobbles the least relatively if you have the correct counterweighting. But even then, you will always suffer from a bit of wobbling. You could maybe ask like Lulstacks also has a different way to set it up. He has like this big bar that kind of spans into his entire like ceiling portion, and he has like mounting for it. Yeah, different people have different ways to adopt that. I think Alex does it differently too. I don't think he uses. I don't actually know what he uses these days, because he does change his setup every so often. So. Half a time. Oh my god. And then closest to the rightmost mounting point is this one. Okay, now the bottom has, starting from the left side, we have this mounting point, And then closest to the next mounting point is the long strip. And then another long strip further out this way. Then short strip. And then short strip here. Okay. That's how the gaskets go. Have a few extras left over, which is good. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we have... I know which face to use for Alex. I mean, can't you just use the... Can't you just use his pain? In pain pick? He has like a bunch. Alex. But that one might not be facing to the front though. He has a lot of content that you could use it from, because he has so much front-facing content. Oh wait, this is downward-facing. My bad. You know I can't say which one it is? Yeah. Alright. That's that. Oh, you know, I'll do some toothpick mod. Got a bunch of toothpicks. Okay. I wish I had the flatter toothpicks because I could just reuse that. All right. Fine. Alright, and then now, so foamless, and now I just put the screws on first because it's a bit easier to screw down if you just put the screws in. Alright. Cool. Okay. Okay, all done. Nice. Alright, so what keyset are we gonna be using today, actually? Do we have a keyset in mind for today? There were a few suggestions earlier. There was beige, there was frost switch, there was muted, there was handlebar. Yeah. Got any CannonKeys beige? So let me see. Let's see. Classic beige. No, I don't have any nice PVT beige right now. I have soya milk and I have 9009. And I think I also have. Do I have F basic? I'm not sure I do. No, I don't think I do. I have 9009 dark, and that's about it for beige, specifically from CannonKeys. Beige always looks good. That's true. Getting late. Good night. Oh, Zoran. Thank you. Thank you for your service, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Catch you later, though. Oh, hello, Mr. Possum. How's it going? Thank you so much for the 8 months. Don't forget the bump ons here. Okay, so beige. Okay, so I guess I have two preferred choices myself. It's either beige or muted. Because I have muted right here too. And I think it looks good on this colorway. We can do frost switch too, actually. Frost switch is also an option, considering that I have the set as well. I hope you're doing good as well. I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Got my boob cap in today. Ooh, fun. Alright, I'll just do a quick pull. Pull. Key set. Muted, beige, frost witch. And since I think Codobra is not around, I guess I'll veto handlebar for now. Something else. Suggest it. Other. Alright, 1 minute. Vote, 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 vote. I'm looking forward to see how this sounds. In the meantime, I'm gonna clean a little bit up here, and I also need to go and wash my hands. So yeah, put this aside. Okay. Greg? Oh, I guess. Yeah. Alright, I think muted is going to be. Alright, sounds good. I do have brand new GMK Muted right here. Came in the mail this weekend. And we can maybe put these accents too. Yeah, GMK Muted. Alright, I'll be right back though. I need to go wash my hands and then we'll get to this right away. Barry. Okay, we're back. Let's get to this. Alright, so let's open up our set of muted. Actually, before I go to bed, what's this? Love it. Thank you. That's great. Can you use F&J bar caps, please? My mute has alignment issues on F&J bars. Caps sit too far left, and I'm curious if it's only my set. Okay. F&J bars? Okay. Now, good night. Good night, Soren. Alright. FJ bars, though. Okay. Well, let's get started with the rest first. Use purse caps? Yeah, we'll do purse caps, why not? So there's a good way for me to confirm that my muted set is doing, like, it's like everything's there and there's nothing missing. So R5 muted. Like R5 bottomer. It's so nice. So cool. Actually, I don't know if I want the arrows to be accents yet, but I'm just gonna put these on for now. We'll decide the rest in a bit. Okay. Let's see. Numpad. Ooh, this is kind of flexy. Yep, yours are off too. Sits too close to the D and the H. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, oh, that's interesting. So do the bars, do the scoops, are the scoops different? You can check, hold on. So, I mean, hold on. Let me put the rest of the caps first and then I'll compare. Do like a more detailed here. So, give me... Well, actually, I guess I don't know if I'm going to use the accent spacebar yet, but okay. Let's choose the accents first here. Okay, let me put this cap slot here. And then put these guys left here. I mean, I actually use, I use scoops a lot, but I know people use bars quite a lot as well, so... See what accents for space, enter. Oh, I guess we can do enters. There's no arrows, I see. Okay, we can do enter and enter accents. Yeah, that's I'm gonna check that in just a sec. All right, I think that's fine. Okay, so let's check scoops versus bars, right? That's the question here. Here are my scoops. Alright, so the question is, so 789 is mentioning that this is leaning too far to the left, which is indeed true. See how it leans too far to the D and too far to the H? There's like a bigger gap between the F and the G and the J and the K. I don't know why, but maybe bars are having this problem, or like the way they're made, like the way the injection of this is happening. I don't know. So let's see if it's different. So this is FJ scooped. Looks like the scoops also look like that though. See? Weird. Do you think all of the FJs are like that? What happens if I switch FJ from somewhere else? Right? Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like it's quite not perpendicular or whatever. Like maybe it's like a mold issue. I don't know. Let's see. Let's actually check. Like we can try a few different sets because I do have a few different sets here. So if I have a FJ from here, my GMK Oni set, right? That does look to be... is it better? Is it much better? Or is it kind of off? Well, let me try a different one. I have... Oh look, I have Serica here. I have Serica. I have Serica round 2, by the way. Actually, maybe I should grab an older set. Actually, it could just be a contrast difference. Maybe, I don't know. Better but still whack? Yeah, let's see. So that's Oni. FJ bar from Serica. And I'm pretty sure these are, so you can see the switches are nice and clipped onto the plate. So I don't think the issue is the switch being down there. Okay, it looks like it's kind of the same with the Serica set, right? Older sub-legend sets don't have the issue, but this one's also leaning a little bit to the left, right? Like if you look at here and here. Let me try a different set, like an older set, like an actually older set. I think I have like carbon somewhere around here, so I can try that, like carbon R1 or something like that. Let's see. I think it's also the G and the H. You think? Maybe you're right. I don't know. Oh man, I have to dump these out to find it. Let me make room here. But you know, you see, something's kind of weird. Why is it not it's not noticeable on my GMK Oni set? Look. Maybe it is right. Maybe it is adding up. Because look. GMK Oni looks fine. This is the same FJ that I put on this one. Like if I put, actually, like what happens if we replace all FJ, GH, J, right? Like these 4 keys. Oh. Oh, that looks fine. That looks fine. That looks okay. Maybe it is G and H. Maybe it is G and H or something. No, this is normal. This is within tolerances. This is pretty normal. Also, the scoops are always gonna look a little different, right? So what if I just take the Oni, I mean the FGHJ onto my board with GMK Oni here, right? Okay, maybe it is G and H. It's kind of adding up here. Scoops looking scoopy, yeah. But see, maybe it is G and H. Maybe it is just the row. Look, it does lean to the left. It does lean to the left. It's leaning to the left a little here. It's weird. It's very strange. I have an older set here. Let's see. This is carbon, I think. Trying to find the right key here, so it's gonna take me a little bit. Misaligning with muted? Oh, yeah. So we're thinking F, G, H, J look misaligned, or so specifically the the homing keys are looking a little bit left aligned, X position wise on the board, and I'm just trying to see if that's different with other sets. And it seems like GMK Oni, which is pretty new as well, is fine. Where the hell are the F and J keys here? Oh, here. J and F. Okay. So let's take a few examples. I know that people are waiting for me to type on this, but this is kind of an interesting thing. I'm curious myself. So, okay. So I'm gonna take these guys off. Well, I mean, it's interesting, because it's just like, maybe it is just a specific key set difference. That looks okay. That's basically within tolerance. This does like wiggle a little, right? Like the you know, you might say, oh my god, that corner is slightly off, but I think that's within tolerance for keycaps. So FGHJ for carbon R1. This is carbon R1. It looks fine, right? You can see the separation is about the same for the keycaps. But and if I put this on a different set, I think the contrast is gonna show even more. So for example, I do this with this guy here. So see how this is the muted FGHJ, barred, and or scoop, doesn't matter. Let's just say scooped only. That way I have a 1-to-1 comparison here. So FGH and J scooped. Yeah, slightly left aligning for muted. So I think it's the G. Might be the G and the H, or the G and the J, or something. You know, it's something around here. These guys. Okay. So take these guys off. And then just put these older ones in. F, G, J, and H. That looks fine, right? That looks fine. Looks good to me. Looks perfectly fine. So it does look like it's just muted, right? Just muted, and it doesn't matter whether you're using... That's yellow? No, this is not yellow. That's the actual color of GMK Carbon. This is GMK Carbon. This is the actual color of GMK Carbon, yeah. I'm just comparing different sets so that we get a comparison for this. Yeah. But yeah, so if I put FGHJ for muted, right? This is muted. It does look like it's a little left leaning, and I'm not sure if it's the G and the H. So I mean, definitely here is the, or if it is it the D? No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's definitely here. The F is slightly on the left, I think. D is about the same. But then if I replace this guy with this one, yeah, so the F here still looks slightly off, right? Like slightly, the muted F is slightly off, right? The muted F is slightly off, I think. And then for the J case, we can see if the H fixes that. So that looks a little better, but it is still a little bit left leaning just by a tiny amount. It does look a little better compared to this one. It's this like right leaning maybe for the H. What if you switch F and G? And J and H, where does the gap go? F and G, J and H. Wait, so can you just tell me, like, say like O is for Oni and M is for muted. So what, like, which one's which? So I'll zoom out a bit. So I have G, H, and J. Then there's J scooped and barred. Meaning put them out of order? Oh, okay. So G, F, J, H. Looks like the gap for F is still there. Like kind of like slightly left lean. There's like a larger gap here and a smaller gap here, right? So I do think It's like some of these keys are leaning on the one side or the other, right? A little bit. It's like slightly off. It's not by much, but I wonder if it's like plastic interfering, something like that. Like this F key definitely looks close to the left here. I'm not sure. Need to document it a little better, I guess. I mean, and if I swap the bar, is it the same? Yeah, I mean the F, it's either the G is right leaning or the F is left leaning. I think the F is left leaning a little bit though. Let's see. What if these guys get swapped? Yeah, I think the F is left leaning. The F is left leaning. And like, let's see, that looks like it's this right leaning, and then if I switch this back, maybe it's the J that's left leaning too. Let's see. Pick up. Yeah, I think the F and the J are left leaning a little bit, right? Does Muted use stock colors? I think it doesn't. I think it does not. I think it's just custom. Yeah, I think F and J are both slightly left leaning, right? Both scoops or bars. Both scoops and bars. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to say the least. I wonder if it's some of the flashing here. Let me see if there's any flashing on the bottom of the cap. No, it's about the same. I don't think there's really any flashing of the plastic here. There's like a teeny bits, but they're mostly off. Yeah. Okay, well, that's a neat, interesting observation. I wonder if other people have the same issue. So it definitely would be neat to see it if it's repeatable. If it's repeatable, then it means it's affecting a lot more, a lot more sets, right? In the entire batch of Keycaps sets, like base kits. We'll see. We'll see. Definitely, it's a matter of how many sets are affected, right? So, all right, let's get back to this. So putting some keycaps, and maybe I'll just fill this guy up here. Delete. And oh wait, no, not delete. Maybe home. Okay. My F key is leaning up instead of to one side. Interesting. I have to say, I'm not sure what's going on. I am unsure what's going on. But it does look like it's like, something's a little bit off. Slightly off, and it shows. I like this lavender Lube, so I think I'm gonna put this as an accent here. And maybe you can try the Miru. I think Miru looks nice too. It's basically pretty close. It's a little darker. The Togepi is much darker, but the Togepi matches Frost Witch. That's what I bought it from. Oh, nice Geekpora. Oh yeah. I wonder where I got it from. Alright, I think that's fine. Alright. Okay. Let's open up a test. Okay, and turn the music off here. Alright, cool. I think that looks pretty good. Alright, let's give this a try. Audio good? Everything good here? Alright, let's give this a shot though. So... Oh, is this Win key right now? Oh, it is. Whoops. Whatever. I don't have Alt tab. Okay. So let's give it a shot. Right now we have a brutal V2 1800 from CannonKeys, designed by AIO3. This is a lilac top, silver bottom, and we have a full aluminum plate with lubed lavender. Oh, am I dropping frames? Lubed lavender switches. Okay, dropping some video frames. Okay, lubed lavender switches. On an aluminum plate, and this is GMK Muted for the key set, and there's no foam. There is no foam. So we'll give this a shot. Actually, can I snooze it? There we go. I snooze the ads. Okay, here we go. Oops. Can't see. Ooh, I thought I was gonna beat my record. So close, but 142 almost. But that's pretty fast. Damn, that was close. I made a few mistakes, but it was pretty good. Pretty good run. Oh, 4th on the daily leaderboard so far. Nice. Awesome. All right. So that's what it sounds like. It sounds pretty nice. There definitely is no resonance. Like any kind of unpleasant resonance to it. It definitely is maybe a bit more muted than I thought. I actually, well, it's kind of ironic, I know. No pun intended, but it definitely sounds a little bit more quiet, a little quieter than I thought. Maybe it's just because it's lubed lavenders. But it sounds good. It overall sounds good. And yeah, I mean, I think I saw AIO3 comment about the Brutal V2, and he was talking about how like it's supposed to amplify a bit more of like the sound. But I'm thinking maybe like it's the flex cuts that kind of are you know, dissipating a little bit more of that, and so it's a bit quieter than I thought. Maybe if it were a fully solid PCB, maybe that wouldn't be the case. But yeah, it sounds pretty good. That is the fastest typing test I've seen live. Yeah, it's definitely pretty fast. Faster than, I think it's the fastest I've been on camera. I think. All right. Here we go for the mods. Here are the mods. There it is. That's what it's like. Sounds pretty good. Numpad typing test. Oh man, those are rough. Those tests are rough. I mean, I could try, but they're difficult. I remember. I think it was like Funbox, and then the number one. Wait. Okay, that's the one. Wait, does enter count as space? Oh, okay, it does. I don't know about anything about keyboards, but this one sounds nice. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty nice too. Yeah, sure, we can try a numpad test here. Numpad test. Alright. This one sucks, but I can try it. Alright. Here we go. Numpad test. Oh. Ooh. Ah! Oh no. Ah! Ah, fuck! Use both hands? Wait, what do you mean both hands? You never use both hands for number entry. That's the whole point of Numpad. How is there not a single 420 in this typing test? There was a 69, I think. Slowing test I've ever seen live. Oh man, it's not that bad. Hey, I could put 41 number things per minute. It's not too bad. Zooming towards the end, yeah, once you start getting used to it, it's much faster. But also, I like fat finger this, so, and I'm not deleting anything, so I think that's also why. But it's not bad. Anyway, that's what that sounds like. And I definitely hammer harder on the keys with Numpad. So yeah. I type numbers faster in the number than Numpad. Thank you, Minecraft. I might now actually, because I haven't used full size as much, so I might actually type numbers pretty fast on the number now. All right. Let's get back to this. All right. So yeah, any thoughts, questions, concerns? I think it sounds really good. The fact that it doesn't have any resonance is really nice. It's a very nice typing feeling too. It does have a little bit of bounciness to it, like it does have a little bit of give to it, which is pretty sweet because of there's like gaskets lining the bottom part, and not the top. Top's just kind of sitting on top like that. So it just presses the plate a little bit down, but it's just cushioned on the bottom. So, but yeah, this does have a bit of like a cushion to it, like when you type on it. So it's a very pleasant typing experience in my opinion. This is like nice and soft. It's nice and soft, even with aluminum. It doesn't feel very rigid, and the sound is pretty good. Yeah. Tari Carl, oh, I think I missed everything. Yeah, I think you did. Is this yours to keep? I don't think so. I think I'm sending this back. Yeah. But yeah. No, it sounds really good. It sounds really nice. Can we get a quick spacebar test? Oh, yeah, sure. But yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, this is really nice. I mean, if I had a strong need for an 1800, I think this option is gonna be probably one of the best options out there. Once it's like in stock, regularly stocked or something like that. So yeah, I think this is excellent. It really does feel and sound really good, nice. So I really dig it. And you can customize however you want. Right now there's completely foamless, no foam at all. You can add, you know, different plate materials. Of course, you can use different types of foam, different combinations of it. And then I believe there's going to be offerings for like silicone weights instead of the zinc ones, so that are on the inside. You can adjust how you tighten the screws here. Right now I tighten just like up to about finger tight, and it's pretty good. But I really do think that this Brutal V2 series, the boards in general, they're coming out really nicely, and I do think it's really nice on this 1800 in particular. Hi from Spain, love your keyboard. Thank you, Emotive. Hola. Mucho gusto. All right, so I guess that's about it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But let's show off the color and the kind of like the look of the board. So let's do that now, just to show you. Placer es mío. Hola, hola. Why do you say hola with the gringo accent? Hola, 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 ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, amigo. Amigo. Amiguis. Just kidding. All right. Here's this is the ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? But first, let me take a selfie. Alright, just kidding. So this is the Brutal V2 1800 from CannonKeys in AIO3. As you can see, in the beautiful lilac and silver. Looks gorgeous with GMK Muted and accents. Big fan. Really like how this looks. Here's the front and the sides. What is the price going to be? Has it been confirmed yet? Oh yeah, I can get you that detail in just a sec if I have it. I'll let you know if I have that the price details. The back is a center USB-C port, as you can see. There's the bottom, nice and clean, just 4 circular bump-ons. And again, the side profile here with R5, it looks really nice. Really nice. It looks even better with R5, of course. But anyway. And you can see it from a different angle here. Price is not in the coming soon page? Okay, then I guess we don't have a specific pricing for it yet. Oh, okay, there's a zoom. But yeah. That's on a different angle. The lilac is definitely looks different at different angles. So, like, you know, it can turn a little bit darker on the purple, a little lighter. Depends on how the light is reflecting. So, gotta take that with a grain of salt. But the lilac just looks, it's like a nice kind of pink and purple, you know. Oof. It looks really good, especially with muted right now. Just looks really nice. But yeah. Okay. Alright, I guess that is all I have for today. Let's see. Let's check if anybody's streaming. Disastertron is streaming right now. Mr. Wolf, PCB designer, is streaming right now. I guess that's about it today. Not many keyboard people today. That's fine. We can either, if you guys want to see a build, I think Disaster might be doing. Disaster might be working on something this. And the Wolf is just doing PCB stuff. If you're curious about that. I feel like this is going to be 450 or more because this 65 was 300. Yeah, I'm not sure. It is a much larger piece, so we would expect the price to be a little bit further up. Yeah. What's your opinion on standard USB port on a TKL? I have a more fleshed out opinion on that now. Actually, Mr. Cute actually quoted me on it a little, but basically this is the idea behind TKLs and USB ports. Let me show you here. Where's my, hold on, sorry. Man, not having an alt key is so bothersome right now. Is this, no, that's not an alt either. Because it's not programmed. Because I don't have it on VIA right now. Okay, whatever. So, okay, you guys see the browser there? Okay, great. So, you know, so if you look at this, right, this is the #1 TKL. The #1 TKL, as you can see, it has like an island-like design where basically the whole top part is floating on top of like a smaller island. I think that in those cases, the USB port is like the USB port is like right at this position, like in the center of that. That looks good. I think that they look good on designs that have a larger top or a smaller bottom, basically, like floating essentially, right? So if you look at it from the side, it looks like it's floating kind of. If you have a cable that's coming out from the right side of this, it looks a little bit more awkward, I think, because also normally things like curve a little bit. And on these designs where they have like sharper corners, sharper turns towards the sides, so they don't look nearly as good, I think. But otherwise, generally speaking, I do like the USB port on TKL or 1800 as well to be on right here, in between the main cluster and the other cluster. So in the case of TKL, it's going to be between the main alpha cluster and the navigation cluster. like, you know, home, page up, page down, delete, you know, insert, right? So right here. But in the case of those like island-like designs, I think it looks nice to have a centered USB. Yeah. So I think in this particular design, that actually does apply somewhat. I think it would look fine on the right side here, but if you technically look at it from the underside, it does have a smaller base kind of sitting on, like, it does have a smaller base kind of like sitting below this like larger top, and so I think that kind of helps frame the center USB port better. So I think it looks okay. But if this design were a bit different, right, like where maybe it was a complete wedge, or maybe it just had like, you know, just like the shell, like the handles or something like that, right? Maybe on the right side it would have been fine because it would be all the way here, right? And I don't think like any cutouts here would affect it much. Like if this was like cut here, right, and you could just like pick it up like that, I think having it all the way here wouldn't affect it much, as opposed to instead of having it dead center, right? So yeah, it looks a bit weird top down though. Yeah, it kind of look off because it basically is not centered on any particular cluster, right? Like it's not centered in between, like it's not in between things. It's also not in between like this F8 and F9. It's not perfectly in the middle either, right? It's like slightly closer to the F9 than it is to the F8, for example. So yeah, it can look a little bit odd here. Yeah. It's also like talking about like, I mean, like having like where the Alice layout port goes, like people say centered, right? Some people might think it's like odd because of the way the clusters are oriented and like where they're located, especially like with the Arisu layout, like the one with the ones with the arrow keys. Those kind of extend the layout a little further, so that also starts looking a little bit off too. What cable do you have? This is a cable mod cable. I have a bunch of cables. This is from Space Cables. This is from Cable Mod. I have one here also from Space Cables. I have another one. This is from CBB Planet. This one. Yeah, I have a variety of cables because I, you know, often test devices and stuff, so just need to have a variety of them. And sometimes like just having different colors. But yeah, but this one's from Cable Mod right now. Yeah. Alright, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let's go raid Mr. Disastertron. I believe they are currently live. I'm just gonna double check before I hit the raid button. Yeah, okay. They're like 4 hours into their stream. Wow. Alright. Alright, friends. Well, I just want to thank you all guys for coming by. Let me see here. On the next stream, I believe I should either build a Sunset 80 TKL from Fox Lab or something else. I'll confirm on those details. I mean, you'll probably see me live and then just come by. But I just need to confirm some details with ClickClack.io, who is going to be the vendor for it. Yeah, that's all I have for today. Alright. Let's go show some love over to Diz. Yeah, go read. Happy weekend. And happy keyboarding. Just something nice and wholesome. Meow, go heart. Alright. Here's our rate message. Alright, friends, have a good rest of your weekend. I am probably not gonna be streaming this weekend for the rest of this weekend. So I'll probably see you guys next week for a couple more builds. But until then, I'll see you later. Take care and have a good one.